It's not actually my favourite genre, but there's something about it that I find quite gripping. And what that is that it just says it. None of this flim-flammery, none of this poetic obliqueness. They just get there and they say it. Your husband's left you, the crops are dying in the field, and the dog's got arthritis. They just tell you. So I've written this sort of homage, except that, as with all these things, it doesn't quite go the way you expect it to. This is called The Complaints Desk in Heaven, a country music song. So kind of imagine this done in a deep south accent and with some wailing guitars in the background. Oh, there ain't no complaints desk in heaven, though I'm thinking that there ought to be. For the Sky Lord must have obligations, even when paradise comes rent-free. As I soared from the operating table and spun down that tunnel of light, I was sure mad that a routine boob job had given me this hell of a fright. But when I saw the pearly gates shining, I knew God had deleted my sins, from walking past big issue sellers to putting trash in the wrong wheelie bins. Then the Lord told me we're all forgiven. Hell's how rich men control the poor folk. And the worry you get when you're dying, well, just think of it as his little joke. Though real bad guys like Hitler and Pol Pot, he makes them just cease to exist, which, I thought, tests your sense of irony if you're one of they atheists. But there ain't no customer feedback and no way to make a suggestion. Eternity ain't market forces, and forget the complaints desk in heaven. Well, after I'd wandered round Eden to the pearly gates, I went straight back with a barrel of questions and findings about how redemption was stacked. I said, God, while I'm suitably grateful for forgiveness and absence of hell, the afterlife has paradoxes upon which you and I need to dwell. I just met a man who once mugged me, took my purse and my cards and my phone, leaving me with perennial fear of being out in the dark on my own. But in jail he had truly repented and had taken an OU degree, so it seemed only fair to forgive him. He'd worked real hard for charity. Then I met my very own first love, who'd abused me and left me real scarred in the metaphor and in the literal, and reluctant to lower my guard. Now I had my doubts about forgiving, I had miles of resentment to conquer, but he showed me the pain in his own soul, and he was just a pathetic wee plonker. But last I ran into my father, who'd hurt my inner child through neglect, 'cause, well, everyone blames all their screw-ups on the parent of the opposite sex. So I'm asking now, God, if you're willing, I would be most appreciative if I mind my soul's own protection, and I'll leave poor to you to forgive. But Almighty in heaven, here's the problem. Each day's mortality statistics run to millions. So how do we manage in this swarming of characteristics? We sure need a complaints desk in heaven. Soul's disharmonies don't end at the steeple, and that Sartre guy's up here and muttering about hell still being other people. The mugger's got no sense of humour. My love harps on his own distress. And there's no way back from disenchantment with the parent of the opposite sex. For lo, I am bringing bad tidings. You've not thought this through properly, dear Saviour. I'm locked up in the joy everlasting, and there's no time out for good behaviour. Yes, we need a complaints desk in heaven, for though your love is truly propitious, when we get to the soul-to-soul level, even your happy land has its issues. I want to go back to the mortals. There's one thing I must do if I'm able. Sue the pants off that cosmetic surgeon who let me die on the operating table. It's not that I haven't learned lessons here in the Forgiveness Motel, but heck, I'm entitled to justice, so I'll just make his life living hell.